that was it AI, and then what was the time right before AI? Because we didn't call upon him, or was that AI? We didn't call upon him and we got slaughtered. Then we called upon him, and then we went down and beat him. Then we called upon him again, and we went into Jericho, took them down. We need the Heavenly Father. He's the integral part, the missing link that we need, the miracle that we need to get out of this thing. There's no hope in this society.
And their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord.
Yep.
Hey, get Psalms 44. Psalms 44 and like, is it 6?
Psalms chapter 44, verse 6. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall I...
Start at 4.
Psalms 44 and 4. Thou art my king, O power. Command deliverance for Jacob. Though thee will we push down our enemies.
Read that
again. Yeah. Through thee will we push down our enemies.
Through who?
Through thee.
Through thee, meaning him, the Most High, man.
Right.
Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. That's how we're going to push our enemies down. Okay? The Lord said, when the enemy come in like a flood, he's going to lift up a standard against them.
Right.
Psalms 144, blessed is he that teaches my hands how to war.
Hey, but we need what? We need power.
Right.
Right.
We're going to need that power, man. You know? We can't do it without the Heavenly Father. Every battle, every war that Israel fought, if the Lord was with us, we always won. He gave our enemies into our hands. But if the Lord wasn't with us, he gave us into their hands, man. That's just how it was.
Every war goes that way, man. Every battle that you have throughout your day goes that way. If you're not moving in the spirit of the Heavenly Father, you're going to lose a lot of battles. Our people are used to losing these little battles so much that they don't realize it. They just think that's the way they're just supposed to be losers. But guess what? When we call upon the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, sometimes him not delivering us into a negative situation is him working. Okay, same thing in the matters of war.
And vice versa, because when he doesn't deliver us, sometimes it's to teach us a lesson.
Yep.
All right. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against thee. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me.
Yeah. I will not trust in my bow, neither can my sword save me. So you don't know, you shouldn't be on that mentality of stockpiling weapons and shit.
Right.
I gotta get this extra mag, or extra clip to this gun, that gun. You got a lot of, and you got Israelites that's supposed to know better. They even pushing that vibration out. You know, you leading a lot of jakes to their death, man. That's gonna get a lot of these jakes out here. That's gonna get them they caps peeled back, man.
They're slaughtered, man. These stupid jakes. When you get the guns, they register them with Esau. You know what I'm saying? So they know who got the guns.
Yeah, FBI can look that up.
Yeah. So when they come to your house, they're not coming just knocking. They coming with their guns, and if you come out,
shields.
They already know you armed and dangerous.
Yeah.
They already know you got arms.
And if you out in the public, they're gonna deem you armed and dangerous. So the police is shooting to kill.
That's why they might not even step into y'all. They might have a robot come in and knock on your door, man. They're gonna have the machines, the robots, man.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Matter of fact, I just recently read something where one of those little robot dogs that they got, one of them actually shot somebody. I just read about that, man.
They said back when they first was talking about it can be equipped with anything, cameras, weaponry, guns, or whatever. It can hold bullets and it's strong enough to do all of that.
And Esau started this so long ago, like 15, 20, 30 years ago, with those robots they used to have for those bombs.
Yep.
Remember they used to have a bomb threat, they sent a robot in there?
Yep.
And Esau's technology is just evolved to what it is now. Yep. Esau been planning this to come after the Jakes for so long. With the Project Megiddo's, the King Alfred plan. That's all put in set to come after you Jakes, man. All right, I'll finish this in Psalms.
Did y'all see Tales from the Hood too?
Yeah.
Y'all saw that robot at the end?
Yeah.
You saw that robot?
It was able to learn things and
The technology that it had was it was able to detect people's their inner thoughts. They basically had remote neural technology, man, where they could detect if a person is thinking about even committing a crime before they actually commit it.
Like pre-crime, minority report.
That robot, he based off of he was basically calling up anybody that had outstanding or warrants
They said if
for
you're
certain things.
They said if you have a outstanding warrant, and then people got up. If you have you're a legal immigrant, people got up, and then it was something else. But
and it was detecting that these people are like present
out of a crowd.
Yeah.
And then if you didn't comply, it used lethal force.
Yeah. Lethal. And all this, they put these in these movies. It's called predictive programming.
Right.
They put their agendas right in these movies, so they can hide it right up under your nose, right in plain sight. You know? Go ahead, bro.
But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. The Most High we boast all day long and praise thy name forever, Selah.
Hey, because we boast in him, in his name.
Right.
We're not gonna boast because we gather in this big, large community and we got so much money stacked up, and we got guns and ammunition stacked up, and we didn't all trained and learn martial arts, and we didn't did all this. Man, yo, if the Most High ain't with you, you're done, man. And what you're doing is nothing nothing new under the sun.
Yep.
You had Jakes try to get together and create different revolutions. All right, you had the Zealots.
Yep.
They got their numbers up. They got their little swords out.
Hey,
But what happened with that? They fled. A lot of them got put to death, and the rest of them they fled, man.
You had Nat Turner.
I got it out. You just man the camera, bro. We'll deal with this.
You had Nat Turner. You know, they was based in the scripture, but then they still rose up arms. Can't beat that man like that. It wasn't the time anyway. Okay, and then what? You had the Black Panthers. Keep moving on. All of these failed because it was under the wrong vibration. It wasn't under the vibration of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Yeah, and then when Esau sees different uprisings from you Jakes, the first thing they know to do is to infiltrate it.
Yep.
And make sure it doesn't progress any further, man.
That's what makes this so beautiful. So if anybody, I'm sure there was at least aspired to, or it might be, or is, or whatever, in this thing, guess what? All they gonna report back is, all they do is gather up, eat, drink, and read the Bible.
Yeah.
That's all, but they do a lot of that. Like, man, I'm getting tired of this. You know? That's all we do, because we have to wait patiently on the Heavenly Father.
Okay.
I got a precept. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, straight to the point of verse 74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High God Yahweh is your guide, and the God of them who keep my commandments and my precepts, saith the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. I got a couple more.
Yep.
I got a couple more. I'll read this one, and I'll wait on the other one. Daniel chapter 4, verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High God Yahweh ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whosoever he will, and setteth up over it the basis of men. Right now, we're the basis of men that'll be up and above, because we're on the very bottom on this society. But just like in past history, he set these Edomites up over us, starting back with the Greeks and the Romans, and then in the Renaissance period when they came back into power. We were very low on the bottom. He raised them up. He's about to do the same for us.
Psalms chapter 47, verse 2. For the Lord Most High is terrible He is a great king over all the earth. He shall subdue the people under us, and the nations under our feet. He shall choose our inheritance for us, the excellency of Jacob, whom he loved.
Man, and that's King David speaking, and he's speaking that from experience, because he took down him and his mighty men. They took down the nations, man.
Major war general, man.
Khan.
And a king.
Khan, man. He became the head of the heathen, man.
Right.
Okay, he controlled the affairs. He controlled the commerce. You know, he controlled the judgments. He controlled everything, man.
Right.
And why? Because the Most High was dealing with him.
Right.
The Most High promised the throne to David, man. If the Lord wants you in authority, He wants you on the throne. He's gonna put you on that throne, man.
Right.
It doesn't matter what state you was in before, man. You know. That was it. It was loaded.
Yeah, this is Acts chapter 5, verse 38. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone.
Start up like a few verses.
God. This is Acts 5 and 36. For these days rose up Judas, boasting himself to be somebody.
Now this is I think Caiaphas, if I'm not mistaken, and he's basically telling them, because they was trying to persecute the disciples for preaching in the name of Yahweh Shai. So he's basically giving them a rundown, like, hey, hold on, think about this before y'all, keep beating and trying to lock these dudes up. Think about it.
Gamaliel was talking to him.
This is Gamaliel,
Yeah,
right?
he was telling-
Salakia, not Caiaphas. It was Gamaliel. Gamaliel was basically trying to bring reason to the situation. Hey, hold on. Now, in the past, you had men that gathered themselves together. They thought that the Lord was working with them. And this is the example that he's using about these different men who tried to rise up, and they were setting up, different organizations and groups to bring forth sedition against the Romans. Yeah, and he was basically telling them, hey, when these men got together and formed whatever it is that they formed, it didn't progress. It failed. It resorted to nothing. So these same men that you're persecuting, you'll know that the Most High ain't with them if the same thing happens to these guys. It resorts to nothing. And he's about to give these examples. Go ahead, bro.
For these days rose up Judas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who was slain, and all, as many as obeyed him, were scattered and brought to naught.
Brought to nothing, man. They thought that they was hella deep. We got 400 members backing us up. We deep. Hey, man, we just strengthen numbers, and we finna take these Romans down, man. Fuck those Romans. We don't believe in paying taxes. That was one of their issues with the Roman Empire. They was under the taxation at the time. The Zealots, they wasn't down with taxation, man. They knew it was a form of oppression. But they took it into the power of their own hands, and they thought that the course of their actions would stand in their power, but the Lord wasn't with it.
Hey, because what did Yahweh Shai say before anyway? He said, render unto Caesar that which is Caesar when they asked him about taxes.
Because those Pharisees, they was trying to, the reason why they asked that was because they was wondering, is this guy a zealot too? Yahweh Shai, he wasn't with that, man. He wasn't rolling with them zealots, what you would call an extremists, those revolters.
And he got the same way with people trying to sell the truth.
Yeah, man. Go ahead, bro.
After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing.
And Judas was responsible for the sect of the Sicarii, man. And that particular extremist group, those dudes were they were straight up murderers, man. They was laying down any Jake that wasn't down with the cause, man. They were literally, if there was a gathering they would go into the crowd and take those little daggers, and they would just start sticking people, man. You know, any so-called any Jew that was aligned with the system of the Roman Republic, they had it out for you, man. And even certain Christians were getting persecuted by these niggas, man.
What I was just about to say, imagine if because they don't leave time for patience and for the man to be persuaded in his own mind. Imagine if they got to Paul. Paul was aligned with the system at first. Yep. Well, you know, in a way, because he didn't truly believe the whole truth.
Yeah, because he was a Pharisee. Yep. A lot of those jakes that was sitting in the higher seats, like the office of the chief priests and the Pharisees, their status has to come from the Caesars, man.
Right.
And the senators. You know, they had to be partnered up with the system.
501c3 today.
Yeah.
Same type thing.
Yep.
Rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of taxing and drew away much people after him.
Yep.
He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed.
Yep, that went to naught.
Yep. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught.
If this be of men, it's going to be no different than through this and they men and Judas and their men. You know?
You said today the Black Panthers, the stuff we named already.
Right. If the Lord ain't with these guys, it's going to disperse. It's not going to progress nothing.
It's black identity extremists.
Yeah.
The niggas that want to, bear arms and train martial arts and train the neighborhoods and all that shit gonna come to naught.
Because you're going to knock your own neighborhood down and you're going to hold it down and protect it if martial law troops come. All that's going to come to naught, man. Not saying that you can't learn these arts or anything like that or even know how to shoot a gun. That's okay. But if you putting your trust in those things to save you, you're going off.
Yahweh Shai even said it. He said, "Put up thy sword."
Yeah.
For he that live by the sword shall perish with the sword.
That Peter cut
when he cut knock his ear off, man. You know, you live by that gun. That's how you gonna go out, man.
I got a question about the nuclear thermal missiles, basically. In the scriptures, it speaks about a man will be refined as pure gold. What does that mean with like the nukes, like hit America? And like would that make us like refined gold, or is that just the value of our spirit as well?
I mean, well, those are separate. That is, in prophecy, that's kind of, they have no connection.
Hey, but it's funny.
That's separate. The destruction is the destruction the Lord is going to bring upon America. Total nuclear annihilation. Now, dealing with a man being found more precious than fine gold, that's talking about the Lord's elect men being tested and tried through the tribulation. When basically, we're going to be persecuted. Our name's going to be dragged through the mud. Esau is going to try to resort to measures of trying to basically paint a picture to the world that the men of the Lord are we're a terrorist organization. We're members of an occult. We have the motivation to get violent and attack law enforcement. That's what they're gonna put out there about us, and that's why they create that whole black identity extremist moniker. Is basically to label us and categorize us as one particular people, so they can use that as justification to lock us up or to kill us if they have to. Right.
So
and a lot of us, when we go through that process, those of us that make it out of that and we stay firm in belief and having faith in the Lord that He's going to deliver us out of that situation. When we make it out of it through all the persecution, we make it out of the concentration camp, whatever comes our way, and we make it out of it, and still having our integrity and our faith and our belief, the Lord basically tested us and we passed the test. That means we were made pure. The Lord just purifies
It's
us.
gonna take. It's gonna. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yep.
Because it's gonna take that to purge out all the weaknesses within us, all the impurities within us. We're never gonna make it through if we ain't refined through the wisdom of this word. You gotta go.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 69 to 73.
Yep.
And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach.
Meaning if you consent to them, meaning you fold under pressure.
Yep.
When this devil comes for us, one of the key things we were just talking about it. One of the key things he's gonna do is he gonna be like, hey, so what you gonna do? Because at this point, at this point, the whole world is gonna have to be up under this system.
They're already implementing the new technology and stuff just to get
They already.
The final straw is putting it in the people. The rest of the system has to be ready. Nobody gonna walk around that ship and nothing happen. They need to be, when they put it in the people, everything got to be ready to keep them all this money.
And he calls it all both the small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or their friends.
Exactly.
I'll get with Bible saying that's talking about Christianity.
Well, and those same dudes, they gonna take the chip. They gonna take the money.
They said it was all right.
Yeah, they gonna take it, you know. But like right here, it's gonna be a point in time when you're gonna be presented with this, and you're gonna have to be forced to make that decision, whether to save your life or to lose your life for the name of the Lord. Well, a lot of men, it's gonna be men. They gonna fall under pressure. Even guys that claim to be Israel, that's in these camps. Certain guys, they're not gonna have that faith, and they're gonna give in at the last minute, and they're gonna end up taking it. Well, that's you just gave consent to the beast to rule over you. You know. Go ahead, bro.
All right. 2nd Ezra 16 and 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot.
Yep.
For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord.
It's going to be an insurrection. All right, meaning Esau and his the National Guard, the Blackwater troops, basically his different intelligence agencies. They're all militarized. They're going to come for anybody that poses a threat to the New World Order. All right. So that means that if you're on that Project Megiddo list, it's going to be an insurrection against you.
You on that Southern Poverty?
Law Center?
Yeah, that list too.
Yeah. All right.
You got the yellow, blue, green, black list and all of that?
Yeah.
You too.
Yeah, man. And all those people on that list are considered those that are considered enemies of the state. They're considered enemies of the state. These guys, we're going to have a problem. They're going to resist our enterprise of the New World Order. So we're going to have to either, it's a certain list of people we're going to have to just kill on sight. Because they damn sure pose a threat. And there's going to be others we're going to have to interrogate them to see what's going to happen. Whether they buckle under pressure and give in to our system, our new beast system, or if they're going to fight. And then they're going to kill you too.
Then there's some that we have to torture to get them.
Yeah, that's what I said, interrogate. That interrogation process, it actually requires torment, torture. All right? And Trump is actually for torture, by the way.
Yeah.
He's actually for that, man. All right? Go ahead.
Hey, so and it's funny because I noticed these black conservatives, as they call themselves or whatever, all these conservative people think it's okay. Because it ain't me, I conform, it ain't me. But one day it will be you. You think it won't, but one day it's gonna come down to where it's gonna be you.
It's gonna be on the other side.
Yep, you got it.
They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
That's a robot mentality, sparing none, no compassion, no nothing. That's why they want the robots with the humans, that same technology blended, because of the robots, if you give it the order,